Hey friends, welcome to Social Videos. My name is Joan and today we'll be making some pipe cleaner flowers. I feel like there's like a whole trend about making DIY flowers out on TikTok and just all the social media sites. Definitely the biggest one have been paper flowers. Recently I've been seeing a lot about pipe cleaner flowers, so I really wanted to try making some for myself. So in this video I'll be showing you guys how to make 3 different types of pipe cleaner flowers. They're super cute and not as hard to make as they may seem. I'll be putting timestamps down below for each type of flower, also the materials needed to make each one. And let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer them. So let's get on to making some beautiful pipe cleaner flowers. So first off, we're gonna need some pipe cleaners, some craft tissue paper, wooden dowels, a pen or a pencil, a glue stick and scissors, a ruler, and last but not least, a hot glue gun. So first off, I'm gonna show you guys how to make some pipe cleaner lavender. So getting some purple pipe cleaners, we're first gonna measure out 5 centimeters. I'm gonna make a little notch where the 5 centimeter mark is and cut that off. And we're basically gonna repeat that until we have a bunch of 5 centimeter pieces of pipe cleaner. Now with each of those 5 centimeter pieces, we're just gonna fold them in half so they make our petals for the lavender. And make sure that you're folding gently so that it curves the pipe cleaner instead of making a bend. We're going to just keep repeating the process until we have a bunch of pieces to work with. The number of petals on each lavender really depends, but I'd say make about 40 or 50 of these pieces for each lavender just to be safe. Now we're going to make the stem. So taking a wooden dowel, I'm also going to take some craft tissue paper. We're just going to glue a strip down 2 sides of the tissue paper. We're then going to roll up our dowel with the tissue paper, so starting on one of the sides that's glued, we're going to make sure that's glued on. Then we're going to roll everything up so that it's covered. And to clean things up, anything that's not glued down or flaps that are sticking out, we're just going to put some extra glue and wrap it around our dowel. We're now going to take some purple craft tissue paper and then do the same thing, just gluing down 2 opposite sides before rolling it up on our dowel on one of the ends. Once again, making sure that everything is glued down. We're going to end up with a finished stem with a purple end, which is where we're going to now start to glue on our petals. So with a glue gun, I'm just going to put a ring of glue and then glue on my petals. I'm gluing down the pointed edges of the pipe cleaner so the rounded parts are poking out. Once you're done that, that's kind of your first layer. We're then going to continue gluing in the windows or spaces between the petals that are already glued on. But for the second layer, we're going to glue them underneath the first layer that's already been put on. And try to make sure as you're gluing that the petals are oriented the same way. And we're basically going to continue this pattern of gluing the petals within the spaces, working down in layers along the stem. Now we're going to keep gluing until we reach the end of the purple part of our stem. And now we're just going to bend and open up our petals to kind of just give it a more realistic look. So what I'm doing is just basically pinching each petal between my fingers and folding them back. Feel free to also bend the petals so that you're filling in any gaps. And now you're done a basic lavender. Now you can keep your lavender like this, but if you want to, I'll be also teaching how to add on this kind of leaf to the stem. So taking 2 long green pipe cleaners, I'm just gonna fold them in half with one over the other and then kind of stretch and bend them in a way that kind of flattens everything out so there's no gaps between the pipe cleaners. I'm also gonna bend it so that the end is kind of poking outwards from the stem to give it a more realistic look. And now for attaching it to the stem, you could use a hot glue gun and just put it onto the stem and then wrap it up with tissue paper, but I'm just gonna use another pipe cleaner to kind of loop it all around so it ties the leaf to the stem. This is just my temporary way of putting the leaf onto the stem just in case I want the lavender without it as well. And with that, you're done. These are probably my favorite pipe cleaner flowers to make. They're super cute and they look really nice. Next, we'll be making these daisy or chamomile-like flowers. I'm going to take a short white pipe cleaner, take a pen or a pencil, anything that's round, and kind of wrap it all around to make a spiral. The more loops you make, the more petals you'll have. Once you're done looping everything around, we're going to slip off the pipe cleaner, and then taking a green pipe cleaner, we're going to basically squish the white spiral together so that we can loop through our green pipe cleaner. And we're only going to put enough through so that we can actually twist it back onto the longer side of the green pipe cleaner. And make sure to twist it so that everything is kept secure. And then opening up the white spiral, we're gonna see that it makes the petals of our flowers, which I'm then just gonna bend and adjust and try to make the petals look even without any weird gaps or spaces. And once I'm happy with how it looks, we're gonna move on to making the yellow center. So taking a yellow pipe cleaner, I'm just gonna start curling it up from one end and then kind of looping it all together into a circle. Make sure everything is tightly packed and that there's no gaps left in between. And you should be left with a nice round yellow center for our flowers. To attach everything together, I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and just put on the yellow center right in the middle. And once you've made sure that everything is glued down properly, you're basically done your daisy or chamomile flowers. And now I'll be showing you guys how to make pipe cleaner lilies. Right now I'm using half-size pipe cleaners. I'm going to take 3 and basically bend them in half, making sure each are bent evenly along the same length. And I'm also not bending hard enough so that there's a bend, but instead just a curve. And for the next step, you're going to need a full-length pipe cleaner, but if you're like me using half, I'm just going to tie 2 pipe cleaners together before looping it through the loop that we just made with the bent pipe cleaners. And now once we've put in half of the pipe cleaner through the loop, we're then going to take both ends, bend them up, and twist them together. Once we're done that, we're going to adjust the bent pipe cleaner so that they lay flat side by side without any gaps. And then we're going to bend down the 2 longer pieces back towards the rest of the pipe cleaners. And this is kind of the outer edge of our petal. And then we're going to take the 2 ends that are still poking out, twist them together, and then taking one of the ends, we're just going to loop it around one so that we only have one end of pipe cleaner sticking out of the petal. And with that, you're basically done your first petal. And for the lily flower, we're going to need 6 in total. Once we're done with the petals, we're going to move on to making our yellow stamens or centers. So taking a pen or a pencil, we're going to loop around a yellow pipe cleaner so that we make a spiral with 5 loops. And with it, we're going to then squish together the spiral, take one end that's still poking out, put it through our spiral, and then loop and twist the shorter end onto the longer end. Once you're done that, we're going to open up our loop and it's going to look like a mini yellow flower. And with each petal, we're just going to twist it around 2 times. And making sure that the petals are facing the same way flat, we're going to just bend them and curve them to make them more realistic. Here I'm using my finger as a mold to curve them, and I'm making sure there's no gaps between the yellow. And when you're happy with that, we're going to go on to assembling our flower. I'm just going to take some hot glue and glue my first 2 petals together side by side. And then using hot glue, I'm just going to attach my dowel onto the 2 petals. And I'm going to try to shape it so that they wrap around the dowel before putting on more hot glue and finishing off the first layer with another petal. And now I'm just going to open up and bend my petals just to get an idea of how the spacing looks. And once I'm done with that, I'm then going to glue on the rest of my petals, filling in the gaps right underneath the first layer that we just put on. Once we're done with that and everything is glued on properly, we're then going to bend and adjust our flower petals to give it a more realistic look and to make sure everything is even. And we're now going to attach our stamen to our lily. So I'm going to take the pipe cleaner end that's still sticking out, wrap it around the bottom so that it forms a circle underneath our stamen, and use some hot glue to attach it onto our flower. And to finish things up, I'm going to clean up our stem. So I'm going to take a long strip of craft tissue paper, glue on one short end, put it onto where the lily and the wooden dowel connect, and just wrap it around. We're then going to put some more glue and then make sure everything is glued on together. Then I'm going to take a big piece of tissue paper, again put glue down on one strip, and we're going to roll up the stem. If it's getting too thick, you can cut off any excess. Then we're going to put glue on the other end, wrap it all around, make sure everything's glued down nicely. And with that, we're done our stem and we're done our actual lily. And that's basically it for my pipe cleaner flower tutorials. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye!